Welcome into another episode of Beyond Local. Today we have episode 23 of the show. We're going to be talking about YouTube best practices. I'm Kyle Kozie. I'm a familiar face here to the podcast, but today I'm going to be your host. I'm the Vice President of Search here at LSEO, and across from me, a man who needs no introduction, a familiar face to the last couple episodes, our Director of Paid Media, Mark Dymond. Mark, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Kyle.
So, like I said, we're going to be talking about YouTube best practices. So, Mark, do you want to kick it off and give us a fun little nugget about YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube's the second largest search engine out of anything that's out there. Millions of people are on it every single day, watching random videos from cat videos to how-to watching your favorite YouTube stars play Among Us.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best nugget that most people don't know is YouTube's the second largest search engine. Most people may think Bing or Yahoo, but no one really thinks YouTube. And it's crazy because you see all these kids these days on their iPads, their iPhones, and they're just watching YouTube videos.
Exactly.
So, all right, first step. What's the first step in setting up your YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. So you want to set up the YouTube channel and optimize your videos, basically because, like we said, it's the second largest search engine. There's a lot of value that you could take for your brand to get awareness on who your brand is and all of that fun stuff. So as long as you publish regularly and make sure that you can reach the right audience, there's a lot of opportunity here. The first step in actually organizing your YouTube channel is making sure that your YouTube channel has your brand consistency. And by that I mean when they're literally on your channel, the banner at the top, making sure that that's very consistent with your brand, making sure that all the buttons match your brand presence as well. So setting up that cohesive banner and making sure that you could do anything that you want with that banner. For if you want a really quick pro tip on that, you could go to Canva and set up a free, like really great looking professional banner using Canva as a template. And you also want to make sure that your measurements are set up correct too, because obviously there's a lot of different screen sizes, whether it's the iPad, they're on their desktop, they're on their phone, or even their smart TVs looking at your YouTube channel. You have to make sure that your banner is consistent across all of those different device screen sizes and making sure that it's consistent with your brand as well. So on the links itself, you could put 5 links on the top of your YouTube channel. It's at the bottom right hand corner of your banner, so make sure to include like auto subscribe links, social media links, links to your merch or store, or any other promotional links for that matter. But that'd be the first step.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's a great tip. Canva's awesome. We use it a lot here at LSEO. It's very cheap and it allows you to create like really cool images.
Definitely.
All right, so this part excites me a little bit because obviously you specialize in the paid aspect of digital marketing, but let's talk about YouTube SEO. So what do you have to do, or what steps do you need to take to actually get your video to rank?
Definitely. So there's a lot of processes to get the video to rank itself, but like with a regular search process, it all starts with the keywords. So obviously you're very familiar with the keyword research and doing all of that for the Google and other search engines, but this is just another first step. So you start with the keyword research that you want. You're going to find phrases that people are literally typing in to YouTube so that your video could start showing up for that user intent, that finding the people and what they're looking for. So a couple of things in mind here. If you already have a topic in mind, search for it on YouTube. Go to the top videos itself. You could then view the page source by clicking Control F on whatever desktop that you're using. Type in keyword, and then it'll take you to where the keywords are for those top videos. So that's a cool, really quick way to just grab the top performing keywords for videos you already know that rank. You could also use YouTube autocomplete. the search engines are going to use those autocomplete features because they know that's literally what people are searching for. So if you type in whatever you want it to be and then look at that autocomplete, that's another way to grab those keywords. The cool part about that is normally the autocompletes are like 5+ keywords, so there's not a lot of competition. It makes it easier to rank for those specific keywords. And then, of course, if you really want to go in depth in it, one advanced strategy there, for whatever keyword you want to show up for, literally Google it. So then go to the Google, the results page, see if there's YouTube videos on it. Typically, they're like how-to videos or instructional videos. But if you do a how-to video and a literal Google search is showing a YouTube search result, then it could show up when people search for it on Google, and you'll show up for it when people search for it on YouTube.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you don't even have to look at search volumes anymore.
Exactly.
Autocomplete, we even use it for Google, right? You could, and like we said at the beginning, millions of people use YouTube every single day. So if you start typing something, like for instance, we're going to post this on YouTube after it gets published, this podcast, and we're talking about YouTube best practices, we might just start typing in YouTube, and see what sort of suggestions or autofill it gives us. And obviously YouTube's giving us that because people are looking for it. So we're going to optimize this video for some of those keywords. All right, so let's talk about title and description. We use these a lot when it comes to SEO with Google, and I'm guessing you're going to give us a lot of the same tips for YouTube.
Yeah, it is a lot of the same tips. Now that we have our keyword research, we literally know what we want to make the video show up for. We have to implement that into the description and into the title. So YouTube's algorithm, to properly categorize the content of video, you have to write a good description, have a strong intro, outline everything that you're going to discuss, and then you could put some additional social media call outs at the bottom of that description to try to get people onto your social media accounts as well. But the most important part is using that keyword that you want in the first 1 or 2 sentences. Yep. The beginning at the description, it's literally one of the biggest things you could do.
Yep, and your video might show up in YouTube near the top with a couple other competitive videos, and you want to make sure yours stands out. So if you give that little snippet of a description that promotes someone to click your video than someone else's, that's what the description gives you the ability to do.
That's the key.
So what about the title?
Yeah, so the title, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do with the title as well. I mean, you're obviously going to put the keyword in the title as well, because that's the whole point of making the video. You want it to show up for whatever that keyword is, so people see it when they're searching for it. But there's a couple of other quick tips you could use as well. Adding brackets or parentheses to the end of your title, like this video, it has in parentheses 8 pro tips. That just makes people want to click on it more. They want to find out what those pro tips are. You could use a number in your title, so like the #1 video on how to rank on YouTube or something along those lines. And then you want to make sure to keep the video's title around 50 characters. Anything past that seems to be cut off and it ranks lower.
Gotcha. So one variance from optimizing a title tag and description and even doing the keyword research, YouTube gives you the ability to implement tags. So fill us in a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So when you're uploading the video, this is very similar to the keywords. It is literally what you're kind of giving YouTube that information on what the keywords that should someone type it in, the video should show up for. So this is how YouTube recommends more videos to people as well. So if they're already watching videos on how to rank on YouTube, on the side where it's going to show recommended, the video has the potential to show up there because you're using tags. So you want to make sure that you're using your keyword as the first tag, add variations of that keyword to other tags, and make sure all those tags are super relevant to the video. Don't go off on a tangent there.
Gotcha. And then one of the other things that shows right away with the video is the thumbnail. So give us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So custom thumbnails, arguably the most important part of any YouTube video. Obviously, everyone's seen the clickbait thumbnails. Sometimes those work. So you want to have a customized thumbnail. YouTube, when you upload the video, it gives you a couple of options from clips in the video. Those aren't always the best. Having it customized and making it really look like a standard YouTube video, like when I say YouTube something, that crazy thumbnail clip is what you're thinking of. That's typically what it should be, just because it gets the clicks, and that's the whole point here. You want people to engage with the video. The more people that see it, the quicker and engage with the video, the higher the page is going to rank. And you won't get that with just a random screenshot from the video you're shooting.
Yep, exactly. So the reverse of that is the end screen,
right,
after you're done watching the video. So fill us in a little bit more about how you could optimize that.
Yeah, sure. So this is actually one way to improve audience retention as well. In YouTube, there's the end screen button, then there's cards. So if you're looking at the YouTube analytics and you see a big drop off at one part, well, maybe it just needs a new card to pop up on the video. So if you're talking about whatever subject you're talking about, you could have literally a card pop up, they click on it, and they can go to that link or whatever the next video is for that card. But at the end screen, there's also other options. There is the subscribe button, which everyone should have, because obviously you want to grow your channel. And the more people who click on that subscribe channel, the higher your video will rank. But there's also other options to show the most relevant video for when the person finishes this current video, or you could start showing like different playlists of yours or any other video that you'd want. So basically you just want to keep them on your channel. That's the whole goal here.
Yep. Cool. So all that's great, and getting the views in YouTube is obviously should be your number one priority when you're posting a YouTube video, but I don't think people realize how they could tie it into their websites and how they could also benefit indirectly from a YouTube video. So if you want to fill us in a little bit more about that, like what should you do after you post a video on YouTube?
Yeah, after you post the video, there's a lot of opportunities to start sharing that content. It's literally why you created it, to get the message out. So you want to share it to as many social platforms, to your website, anything like that as possible. Quick tip there, if you cut the YouTube video into shorter clips, you could throw it on your my stories for like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, and tell them to watch the whole video on your YouTube channel. That way you're getting people to engage with your stories on the social platform, and they're also going to our YouTube channel, hopefully subscribing and gaining the audience that way. And all of those metrics definitely help the YouTube video rank higher. It's literally all about posting consistently, making sure that you have it set up from the SEO standpoint, and then obviously engagement is going to be a huge one. The more people who engage with the video, the more YouTube sees that it's relevant to people. People want to see it, so they're going to start recommending and showing it as well.
Yep. And then I think one other benefit, and it's what we do with these podcasts and these recordings, is we stack them with content. So I think it's important to note that once a YouTube video is published, you could also embed it on the website in the content, and that's going to keep users on your page and engaged, and the time on site is going to increase. And obviously we know with tools like Google Analytics, even other analytics platforms, they track how long people stay on your site and how interactive they are on your site. So if they're staying there to watch the video that's on your website, that's also going to benefit your site, not only the YouTube video.
Definitely. Like, we're going to put this on our YouTube blog. The link's in the description. You can check that out. It has more in-depth tips from what we were discussing here. But yeah, that's definitely the whole point there, to keep people on the page and get that ranking.
Cool. So one ending note is, we talked a lot about YouTube SEO and how to optimize your videos. But let's just give people a little bit further information. So obviously you specialize in paid search and paid media. You could also do paid on Google or on YouTube, right?
Yep.
Cool.
So there's a couple of different options for ad formats on YouTube. A couple that work really well is, if you're an e-commerce store, you could put the shopping ads on YouTube. So if someone goes to your site, they get cookied, and then you want to start following them around, showing them like literally the exact products that they looked at, you could have those products start following them around on YouTube. They'll show on the right hand side of the screen. If you have like a 15-second bumper clip that you want to show, you could put that in front of the different YouTube videos that you want to select. For the ad placements, you could literally select specific videos if they're in if they have ads on it already. So you could select specific videos, you could select specific channels, different categories there. There's a lot of different opportunities with YouTube, but definitely like remarketing or just having a promotion that you want to show off works really well. And then even YouTube just started their own form fill, similar to how Facebook has the in-network form fill for the ad, where they're on their Facebook feed, they see the ad, they click on it, a form pops up, they're still in the Facebook, not going to a landing page. YouTube has that as well. Seems to be working pretty decently from a couple of tests I've run. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity to start showing up on YouTube and getting your video shown and build your channel.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought that was an important note, just because, again, so many people are using YouTube, so many people go there to just find information or how to do something, and most people might find it as a nuisance to get that ad in the beginning of the video, but if you get it in front of the right people, it could be beneficial.
It works. Yeah, it definitely works.
Awesome. So that's it. That's all we had for today, talking about YouTube best practices. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Beyond Local, and we'll see you next time.